Greetings from 5959 online, and welcome to our virtual village. Moedim l'simcha. I hope you're having a meaningful Passover. I'm Rabbi Craig Morantz, and shalom. Bruchim habayim. By now, hopefully you're getting the hang of the Sefirat Omer project. We count the Omer at the end, but not before we've added to our virtual toolbox the Meda of the day. Today's Meda is Menuchat HaNefesh, translated as equanimity. What a cool word, right? A calming virtue to take with us on our journey to Sinai. So let's first try to define Menuchat HaNefesh by talking about what it's not. For that, we go to Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 3, and I read in the English. You shall not eat anything leavened with it. For 7 days thereafter you shall eat unleavened bread, the bread of distress, for you departed from the land of Egypt hurriedly, so that you may remember the day of your departure from the land of Egypt as long as you live. So what then are the problems here? Well, firstly, our ancestors have to eat lechem oni, the bread of distress. Yes, they're facing freedom. Yes, they're in God's capable and loving and redemptive hands. But they have been slaves for a long time, and the upheaval brings natural stresses. And then we encounter the word chipazon, a very unique word in Torah, which adds to this sense of stress because it denotes a hurried, anxious, fearful, distress-filled departure. We can understand for obvious reason the frenzied feelings, the out of balance, the wobbly equilibrium. Not only for our ancestors as depicted in this freedom text, as they are on the run, and it's an anxious time, even if it is ultimately a redemptive and a good time. But we know stress is in our own lives too, don't we? We find ourselves in our very own narrow places, just like Mitzrayim, especially in this day and age with the COVID virus. Will we stay safe enough? Will we remain healthy if we are healthy? Or will we get healthy if we are not healthy? Is my job safe? How will I make ends meet? Will I be able to pay my mortgage? Will I be able to pay my student loans? When will I see my family in person? When will I go back to school in person? We know that whether there's a need for quarantine or not, our lives can indeed get hectic and stressful. And at worst, our lives can also become debilitating because of fear and anxiety. So then, what is Menuchat HaNefesh? Think of Menuchat HaNefesh perhaps as a vaccine or as an antidote to the poisonous stress or the worry that overwhelms us like a virus. To me, Menuchat HaNefesh is about calm and cool perspective, one of groundedness and balance in reality, a perspective that helps us face daily anxieties that induce fear and distress. One of my favorite teachers, Rabbi Dr. Shmuley Yanklowitz, has this to say. Menuchat HaNefesh provides us with spiritual clarity as we journey from darkness to light, from uncertainty to certainty, from the oppression of Egypt to the freedom of the promised land. Each of us will need to take some time to discern between urgent and the unimportant. May the values embedded within Torah help us to achieve the inner calm, the equanimity we need for this task. With cool-headedness, we can cultivate the empathy to see beyond ourselves to others, and the wisdom to determine our next steps on our paths. So what then can inspire Menuchat HaNefesh? Well, one of my favorite examples is stopping to smell the roses. When we slow down and stop to smell the proverbial rose, we pause to take note of what is often ignored. Something to enjoy, perhaps the beauty around us. Something to appreciate, maybe the goodness around us. Something for which to be thankful, perhaps the many blessings God gives us or the daily miracles that fill our lives. It seems to me our ancestors needed to find a way, perhaps a miraculous way, to stop just for a moment, to meditate, to simply breathe. To be in the moment, to reconnect with the spirit of freedom, to take in God's loving presence and to settle down into a restful, soulful place. Menuchat HaNefesh. And yes, I know they were running. Pharaoh's army was bearing down on them. Who could stop for a deep breath? Who could stop to try and rest one's soul? Couldn't even rest one's feet. I understand. Menuchat HaNefesh is something that is portable. It goes with us, whether we're moving quickly or slowly. Provides us an opportunity to stop and see the roses and to smell their beautiful fragrance. But there are other ways to achieve equanimity, to achieve Menuchat HaNefesh. A walk in nature, the love of family, the love of friends and community, the love of God, in the practice of prayer, in the practice of meditation, in the practice of embodied or physical spirituality, in the study of sacred Jewish texts, in the celebration of Shabbat. The practice of Menuchat HaNefesh empowers us to not worry so much about the ebbs and flows of healing, seeking wholeness. Menuchat HaNefesh invites us to surrender when we feel like fighting or when we don't feel we have the energy to struggle on. Menuchat HaNefesh summons serenity. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Avadim hayinu lefaro b'Mitzrayim. We were slaves to Pharaoh in the land of Egypt, but then God, with a strong hand and an outstretched arm, embraced us, steadied us, encouraged us, and gave us balance that eventually, when we got used to freedom and learned how important it was and how important it could be when we imprinted it upon our hearts and felt true cherut. We eventually learned how to achieve our own equanimity, our own Menuchat HaNefesh. And yet, the lessons still abound. We are still working on Menuchat HaNefesh. We are still struggling for equanimity, for resting souls in balance and in tune. And so we pray that this, our Sman Cherutenu, our time for liberation, will continue to set us all free and bring us to a cool and calm place of beautiful balance, openness, and peace. Menuchat HaNefesh. So now it's time to complete our Sefirat Omer with the blessing and the count. In that spirit, we pray. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al Sefirat HaOmer. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign over time and space, who makes us holy with commandments and commands us to count the Omer. And with that, we complete our experience with the following words: Hayom Yom Chamishi LaOmer. Try that with me. Hayom Yom Chamishi LaOmer. Today is the 5th day of the Omer. Modim l'simcha. Lehitraot. Bye-bye.